Have you ever trusted someone completely and watched them destroy you? Not a stranger, someone you built, someone you promoted, trained, and believed in. Someone who sat at your table, learned everything from you, and smiled at your face every single morning. And then, one day, without warning, they took everything you gave them and used it against you. The year is 1500. A man named Ramiro De Orco stands in the town square of Cesare, Italy. He is powerful. He is feared across the entire region. He has served his master faithfully, brutally, and without question for years. He wakes up the next morning in two pieces, literally. His master, Cesare Borgia, had used him completely, extracted every drop of value from him, and then had him publicly executed. Not because Ramiro betrayed him, but because Ramiro knew too much. And knowing too much in the world of power is a death sentence. This is the oldest law of power that nobody warns you about. The moment someone becomes dangerous to you, even someone loyal, they become a liability, and liabilities get removed. You have seen a version of this, maybe in your career, maybe in your personal life. The mentor who took your ideas and presented them as his own. The business partner who learned your strategy, smiled through every meeting, and then walked out and started a competing company. The colleague you defended in every room who never once defended you when it mattered. Why does this keep happening? Why do the kind leaders fall first while the cold ones reign for decades? The answer was written 500 years ago in a Florentine prison cell by a man who had lost his career, his position, and his freedom, and had nothing left to lose by telling the truth. His name was Niccolo Machiavelli, and what he understood about human nature will make you deeply uncomfortable, because it is not a theory, it is a mirror. Welcome to NoirMachiavelli. Today, we dissect the anatomy of the lone leader, the one who survives not because he is lucky, but because he sees people exactly as they are, not as he wishes they were. Machiavelli was not a villain. He was not a cruel man. He was simply accurate. In The Prince, he wrote with the precision of a surgeon. Men, he observed, are ungrateful. They are fickle. They are greedy. In times of peace and prosperity, they will pledge their lives to you, offer their blood, promise you the world. But when real danger arrives, when there is a cost, where do they go? They calculate, they protect themselves, they pivot, and they do it without guilt, because self-preservation is the oldest human instinct there is. And here is the part Machiavelli had the nerve to say out loud, "So do you. So does every human being who has ever held something worth protecting." The trusting leader is not morally superior. He is simply less honest with himself about the game being played. The fatal error of the trusting leader is this: he builds his power on the goodwill of other people. And goodwill is not a foundation, it is weather. It changes with the season, with the incentive, with the moment your interests stop perfectly aligning with theirs. When did your interests last perfectly aligned with someone above you? How long did that last? The leader who depends on loyalty, on gratitude, on shared history, on emotional bonds, has built his empire on borrowed ground. And borrowed ground always gets taken back, always, without warning, at the worst possible moment. Look at modern American corporate culture. Open offices, culture decks, town halls where executives talk about family and belonging and trust. And then one Tuesday morning, 300 people get an email. Gone. No warning, no loyalty returned. The company was never a family. It was always a transaction. The only person who did not know that was the one who believed the brochure. The lone leader does not borrow his power from the goodwill of others. He builds it quietly, carefully, and alone. His plans stay private, his vulnerabilities stay invisible, and his exits stay permanently open. When Cesare Borgia seized the Romagna region of Italy, he inherited a disaster. Blood feuds rotting every street corner, corruption in every institution, open lawlessness. The people had no trust in authority because every authority had already failed them. Borgia needed order. He needed to impose it with brutal force, but he could not afford to be seen as its architect. If the violence was attached to his name, his legitimacy would collapse the moment the fear faded. So he found a man. His name was Ramiro De Orco, and he was exactly the right instrument, efficient, merciless, and willing. Ramiro pacified the Romagna with iron discipline, executions, public punishments, absolute fear deployed like a military operation until the streets went completely quiet. The population despised him, and Borgia let them, because Ramiro was never meant to be permanent. He was a tool, a phase, a necessary darkness that Borgia needed but could never publicly own. Once the territory was stable, once the power was fully consolidated, and there was nothing left for Ramiro to do, Borgia made his final move. He had Ramiro arrested, and one morning the people of Cesena woke up to find him in the piazza, cut in half, a wooden block beside him, a knife placed neatly next to the body. Borgia had destroyed his own instrument of terror in public. The people felt relief, satisfaction, even gratitude toward Borgia. Their oppressor was punished, their prince was merciful. It did not matter that Borgia had designed every act of cruelty Ramiro had ever committed. The crowd only saw the ending. Machiavelli watched this and called it a spectacular act. He meant it as the highest form of praise. The lesson is this: everyone in your orbit has a role, a function, and a season. The naive leader believes his inner circle is permanent, that loyalty is a contract that time cannot break. The lone leader understands something colder and more accurate. No single person should ever hold enough information about you to bring you down. Distribute information like you distribute risk. Keep the full picture inside your own mind, and only your own mind. Let others see corridors. Only you see the entire castle. They called her the Virgin Queen. For 45 years, the most powerful monarchs in Europe arrived with proposals, armies, gold, bloodlines, the promise of heirs and alliances that could reshape the entire continent. She refused every single one. Not because she had no options, not because she was incapable of love. She refused because she understood one architectural truth that most rulers never grasped. The moment you share your throne, you share your power, and sharing power is how you lose it. In the 16th century, royal marriage was not romance. It was a corporate merger, and in every merger, one party absorbs the other. A queen with a king becomes secondary in the eyes of every courtier, every foreign diplomat, and her own council. His allies become her obligations. His ambitions become state policy. His enemies become her wars. Elizabeth had grown up watching this destroy women. Her mother, Anne Boleyn, executed. Her stepmother, Catherine Howard, executed. The women who climbed the highest fell the hardest, precisely because they had tied their fate to someone else's. So Elizabeth made a different choice. She weaponized her availability. She kept suitors waiting for years, played them against each other, extracted concessions and alliances and trade agreements without ever once committing. She remained permanently desirable, permanently possible, and permanently free. And England, under her solitary reign, became an empire. This is the price of the crown. You cannot be sovereign if you are also subject. What you love, truly love, deeply and openly, can be used against you. Every genuine attachment creates leverage, and leverage in the wrong moment, in the wrong hands, ends everything. The lone leader keeps his private life private, not out of coldness, out of intelligence. You might be thinking this is ancient history, that the world has changed, that modern leadership is different, more collaborative, more transparent, more human. Look around you. The leaders who have dominated the last 2 decades, the ones who built companies worth hundreds of billions, who survived every prediction of their failure, who outlasted every competitor, they share one consistent trait. They are described as difficult, secretive, paranoid, and impossible to read. They rotate their inner circles with the discipline of a chess grandmaster. They trust no single person with the complete picture. This is not dysfunction. This is architecture. It has a name: information asymmetry. You hold the full map. The people around you execute fragments. No single person, even if they turned completely against you, could dismantle the entire structure, because no single person understands the entire structure. Machiavelli gave us 2 archetypes, the lion and the fox, and he was clear that a great leader must be both. The lion is raw power, courage, the willingness to stand exposed and face threats directly. The lion does not flinch, does not apologize for his ambition, does not make himself smaller for the comfort of weaker people. But the lion has one fatal weakness. He cannot see the trap until he is already inside it. The fox is cunning, strategic. He smells the trap before he sees it. He maps the terrain before he moves. He never commits until he has already located every exit. But the fox alone gets eaten by wolves. The lone leader is both. He has the lion's courage to stand alone when the crowd turns against him, and the fox's intelligence to never enter a room he has not already studied. Be seen as strong. Think like a hunter. Trust the plan. Never fully trust the people. Here is what nobody prepares you for about real power. It is lonely. Not the loneliness of a sad man in a dark room, the loneliness of a surgeon who cannot share his doubts with the patient, the loneliness of a general who cannot let his soldiers see his fear the night before the battle, the loneliness of knowing the full weight of what you are carrying and having no one you can put it down in front of. The moment a leader's uncertainty becomes visible, every ambitious person below him reads it as an opening. Every hesitation becomes an invitation. The leader who grieves publicly, who confesses his self-doubt to his team, who lets his personal crisis bleed into the room, he is doing one thing: handing ammunition to the people who are already waiting to use it. Emotional detachment is not coldness, it is discipline. A surgeon does not weep during the operation. He weeps afterward, in the car, alone, where no one can draw conclusions from it. The lone leader does the same. He feels everything. He shows only strategy. And then there is the line, the one that has made Machiavelli controversial for 5 centuries. It is better to be feared than loved, if you cannot be both. Most people read this as a celebration of cruelty. They have missed the point entirely. Machiavelli's argument was probabilistic, not sadistic. Love is conditional. It depends on your continued success, your continued generosity, your continued ability to give people what they need from you. The moment you stop delivering, they stop caring, and they feel no guilt about it whatsoever. Fear, not terror, not abuse, but the steady knowledge that there are lines and crossing them always carries a real cost, is more stable. It does not require your continued performance. It does not evaporate the moment you have a bad quarter or a public failure. The leader who is only loved is always one crisis away from being abandoned. The leader who is genuinely respected, who has shown he will act without hesitation when the moment demands it, he retains authority even at his lowest. This is not cruelty. This is physics. So here is where we land. Trust is not a virtue. It is a luxury. And most people operating at the highest levels of any hierarchy simply cannot afford it. The kindest leaders fall first because they build their empires on the goodwill of other people. And goodwill is not a foundation. It is a weather system, beautiful on calm days and completely unreliable when the storm arrives. The lone leader does not build on goodwill. He builds on clarity. Clarity about human nature, about his own goals, and about the precise and necessary distance between a person who leads and the people he leads. He walks the path alone, not because he is cold, not because he is broken, but because he is awake in a way most people never allow themselves to be. Machiavelli was not a monster. He was a realist writing for a world that punished naivety with execution. He simply refused to pretend otherwise. That world has not gone anywhere. Walk with your eyes open. Trust the plan, not the people. And remember, everyone around you is playing a game. The lone leader is simply the only one who has bothered to learn the rules. If this hits something real in you, subscribe to NoirMachiavelli. New video every week. And leave one comment below with your honest answer to this question. Are you the lion or the fox?